All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So we are checking in from beautiful downtown Chicago. I'm not gonna lie, it's starting to feel like a little bit of fall, which I love fall, but I don't think I'm quite ready for summer to be over. But anyways, I just got done with my morning run. I went for 5 miles this morning with a time of 42 minutes, 46 seconds, with a pace of 8:29. Now, if you are just new to this channel, I started running honestly a few months ago, and it's really I feel like impacted my life extremely well. So I've been trying to run about 4 days a week, lift 3 days a week, and honestly just feeling the best I ever have. So really trying to start most of my mornings off with a run. If you guys have watched the last few vlogs, you've probably seen that. But to kind of treat myself on the way back home, I picked up the best bagels in Chicago. So this is a place called Tilly's. And check this out. I will say, I think New York City breakfast bagels are unbeatable, but this rivals some of the best I've had in New York. Check that out. Little bacon, egg, and cheese on a cheddar bagel. This is the best bagel sandwich in the city. Miranda's gonna be pissed that I got this without her. So I actually got another one to put in the fridge so she can have like later tomorrow or something like that. So thinking ahead there. Give you guys a little taste test real quick. That is insane. Now, the reason I picked up the camera today is I want to talk to you guys about the elephant in the room. This channel is changing a bit. Not bad, but things are changing. So I want to talk about that a little bit more, but it will all make sense. Trust me. I feel like I deserve this after running 5 miles. So I'm going to smash this, maybe wash it down with a little protein shake as well. Shower, and then I got to show you guys a couple of things in the office. I feel like honestly, we got a lot to catch up on. It's been a busy last couple of weeks. All right, so first things first here, we need to do a quick recap on this past lab culture drop. If you guys missed the last vlog or two, we had our biggest collection ever. It was actually called the Creative Unit Collection. I personally am a big fan of how the pieces turned out. That was actually our 8th drop in Lab Culture's history. And the brand isn't even a year old yet, so I'm actually really, I guess, happy with that type of consistency. But our 7th drop sold out in just 7 minutes. So I doubled the quantity for this past drop, which was the 8th drop, and it still sold out extremely fast. Honestly, after the first hour, there was only larges of 1 shirt left and 7 blue hats. So without a doubt, it was Lab Culture's biggest day in its young history. And I just want to personally say thank you guys for an unbelievable launch. And if this gives any sort of idea how many orders we had, usually we can get all the orders packed up in about a day, maybe a day and a half. But this one took us all the way till Wednesday. So what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 5 days to get everything packed and dropped off. So yeah, just want to say thank you guys. It was absolutely insane. And truthfully, I'm pouring gasoline on the fire. This thing is just getting started, and wait till you see what's coming. To kind of round off this year, there's gonna be some absolute heat. So today's agenda is honestly a packed day, which I guess is just kind of becoming more and more the norm as of late, which I'm actually very grateful for. But I just responded to a couple messages from my different manufacturers for some upcoming Lab Culture drops coming in the future. I also had to respond to a couple of things referring to some future brand deals. And let me tell you what, it should be either the next video or the one after. It's a very cool partnership. I actually did one project with them before, but it sounds like this new one's kind of locked in. It might be sneaker related, it might be tech related, which is kind of the dream scenario if you know me. And speaking of sneakers, check this out. This is actually the first time I've done this. So if you guys are into the sneaker world, I'm sure you know the app called Sneakers. Well, check out what I hit on this morning. That is the Shattered Backboards, which is honestly one of my favorite shoes of all time. I actually have the OG version from 2015 right back here, and they are absolutely beat to but they actually drop on Sneakers tomorrow, but every now and then they have something called Sneakers Pass, which allows you to reserve them and pick them up in store tomorrow. And they usually do it in big cities like New York, LA, sometimes Chicago. So that's right, we got to pick up these Shattered Backboards tomorrow at the downtown Chicago Nike store. So that's super sick. But then as I was saying, another thing on today's to-do list is to finish off shooting a few more photos with this camera right here. So Sony actually reached out to me and asked if I wanted to test out the brand new Sony RX1R Mark III. It's this camera right here. And this thing is absolutely gorgeous. It's a 61 megapixel sensor, a Zeiss f2.0 lens, and this thing is crazy small and compact. In comparison here, to my Fuji here. As you can tell, like the lens is fatter. They're both 35 mils, but the actual body itself is smaller, if you can see that. I only had this thing for literally a week, and that kind of also crossed over during the Lab Culture launch, so I wasn't able to shoot it a ton last weekend. We shot it a little bit while we were packing orders and stuff to test it out. Went out and shot some yesterday, but I wanted to take a few more photos with this downtown, which kind of works out perfectly because we're actually meeting a good friend of mine downtown for lunch or coffee here shortly. So I figure I'm gonna bring this, we can snap a couple photos. I kind of want to get his opinions on it because he's a photographer, and then I'll share some more of my thoughts. But unfortunately, I literally have to drop this thing back off by end of day, I think, to FedEx. I'm gonna try to get as much content out of this thing as I can. But first impressions, the photos out of this look amazing. It's kind of the same deal where you can obviously shoot raw photos, but I feel like this type of a camera, how I personally use it is just shooting the JPEGs with the baked in looks or recipes. So that's how I've been personally using this camera when I'm testing it out. But so far, this thing is pretty sick. It's pretty sick. And also shout out to Sony. This is the first time they've lent me like a new unreleased thing or, you know, freshly released product. So very grateful for that. But yeah, we'll shoot this thing. I'll share some more of my thoughts on it kind of after and show you guys some examples too. All right, so about to head out to go meet up with Mr. Dan, AKA Hims. If you know, you know. If you don't, I'll introduce him here shortly. But here's what I'm taking with me. Obviously, we got the Sony RX1R Mark III. Took me a minute to get that naming right. Obviously got to bring this. This is the main piece. I'm also going to switch over to the Osmo Pocket 3. Just a little bit easier to grab some clips on the go. So I'm going to grab this. And then here's the question. Which pairs of shoes am I rocking? I actually just put this on my story. I think this has been my best week of sneakers or month of sneakers ever. We got the undefeated Jordan 4s right here, which I don't want to blow his cover, so I don't know if he wants me to put his name. But the shoe plug, I was actually able to exchange some Lab Culture drop for these, which to me, that's a perfect trade if you know me. So a shout out to my guy right here. But we got the undefeated Jordan 4s, which, come on. If you know, you know. If you don't, it's not even worth explaining. But these are gorgeous. Or we got these, which are the brand new Nigel Sylvester Better With Time Jordan 1 Low collab. I mean, these are, you guys know I love Nigel. If you've watched my videos in the past, I have every single one of his pairs of shoes. Funny story about this, God, I feel like I have so many sneaker stories. Shout out to my boy Ed for these. So Nigel had a random pop-up in Chicago for this release last weekend. It just happened to be at 11 a.m., which was the same exact time as my Lab Culture drop. So there was just no way I could leave the lab because there's just, every drop is chaotic. There's things you just gotta do. So like, I just couldn't make it happen. So my new homie, good friend of mine now, Ed, went and got a pair of shoes for me. I didn't even ask him to do it. He completely offered, and check this out. Not only did he get the pair of shoes, but he got the box signed by Nigel. He drew the bike on there. It says Chi-Town all day. Then his initials, NS for Nigel Sylvester. So yeah, these, I mean, I'm gonna wear these, but this box, I mean, that thing, that's special for sure. So shout out to Ed. So I'm gonna rock one of these pairs of shoes. We gotta get out of here. I gotta call an Uber, and we still got a lot to catch up about. So let's go. All right, so just pulled up in West Loop. If you guys remember my vlog a few back, I'm saying this is my favorite part of the city, but I'm meeting Dan here at Soho, which we are not actually allowed to shoot any videos or photos. It's like, it's supposed to be like, you know, secretive. So I'll show you guys when I can. Maybe I'll snag a clip, but I'm not trying to get my membership revoked, but I'll update you guys. But walking in right now, we got to celebrate a little bit. Out of Soho, so I can finally say something. Hims hooked it up with the new raspberry cream energy. I already gave it the official taste test. It's pretty good. It's definitely not top 3 for me, but I would give it a solid, I would say it's a solid 8.6 out of 10. Pretty good. What would you give it?
I'm still gonna stay in the 8s, maybe like an 8.2, 8.1.
Okay, 8.2. Okay.
But I have also only had a couple sips, so we'll see. You gotta finish the whole can. All right, so Hims is checking out the camera for the very first time right here. Check it out,
Wow.
check it out.
Autofocus is pretty quick. I'd say it's quicker than the Fuji, the X106. It pulled eyes pretty quick. It's lighter than I was expecting, but it is like, it's tiny, dude.
Yeah, well, yeah.
The lens dominates the body, but it's like, I don't know, maybe I just got big hands. It feels like so small.
Yeah, the camera's cool because I think it's the same sensor as I believe the A7R Mark V. That's why it's 61 megapixels, and I think that's also part of the price. But I'm telling you, the photos out of it are crispy, and I'm also shooting, I think it's the Vivid 1 picture profile. Yeah, that's just baked in JPEGs.
Tones on it are money.
Yeah, not bad.
That
not
short
bad.
stash filter, shout out Short Stash.
Shout out Short Stash, the absolute goat. All right, we're gonna go grab some food somewhere. Maybe a little burger action. Snap a couple photos with this thing too. Because I feel like that's how you wanna use this type of a camera, is exactly in a situation like this. Two content creators getting together, having a drink or getting lunch, whatever the hell we're doing, and you just wanna take a couple cool photos while you're out and about. Cool camera to take around with you that is high quality, and we can just throw some cool photos up on our story afterwards.
That big of a sensor in this small of a camera is insane. Definitely, like, you're seeing it kind of compete with those Leicas and then the X106, because it's just, everyone wants an X106, but like, this thing is
Full
sick.
frame though. You
Full
get that
frame,
full
yeah,
frame,
that's the crazy part. But
And the
sticking
Sony
that-
autofocus.
Yeah, it's so quick. It grabs eyes like just like all the other Sony
Yeah.
cameras, so it's nice.
Fun fact, me and Hims, we worked at Ghost together for my entire career, but one of my very first photo shoots, remember at Sovereign? Right up here, and we shot against these train tracks and stuff, and that crosswalk right there. That was the first video I ever shot and edited for Ghost. It's a little throwback, a little full circle moment. But we gotta talk about Mr. Dan here, AKA Hims, and what his career situation is right now. Yeah, it was this corner right here. That crosswalk is where it all went down. Pretty cool, pretty cool.
Blank concrete walls down
Yeah.
there. Sovereign's right there.
Yeah, we know all the Chicago spots.
We shot in Sovereign that time too.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
the
we
Mocha
did.
drop.
Yeah. So today we are kind of also celebrating, we're hanging out, but also celebrating. Mr. Dan, aka Hims, has officially left his full-time job. That was also my full-time job. We worked together for 2.5 years. You're there for 5 years. And now he's going full freelance, leaving for tour, doing his own damn thing. Very proud of this man. Any words?
6-week bus tour. I don't know, it's crazy. It's like the culmination of a lot of years put together, so it's definitely bittersweet because you know it as well as I did, that company like meant a lot to us, so it still does. But yeah, it's just the next creative evolution, I guess, stepping into something new and doing it before I get too old.
Oh yeah. And who are you going on tour with?
So actually, big nerd, wearing the same shirt. Quinn 92. So we're gonna be 6-week bus tour all around the U.S. and it's gonna be sick.
Hell yeah.
Get a bunk, bro.
Yeah, huge congrats to Dan. I'll leave his socials down below. You guys gotta go follow him, show him some love. But proud of this man. We made some killer work together in our years, and who knows, maybe we'll have to make some more work together in the future.
Say less.
I have a brand I need some photos done for. I made it just in time. I had to drop off that Sony camera. I had to ship it back today, and I just dropped it off at 7:47. They close at 8 p.m. So I got it back to Sony. It's getting overnighted back to them. I'll share some more of my thoughts here on that camera, but I am sad to see it go. That thing is really fun.
All right, guys, so it's now the following day. Honestly, all you guys have missed so far is hit a workout this morning, then checked in with manufacturer messages, emails, a little bit of content, that type of stuff. I feel like that's pretty much the routine every single morning. But a couple quick thoughts here. Number one, I filmed a lot of that stuff out and about yesterday on the Osmo Pocket 3. I get asked, frequently what type of gear I'm using and stuff. Predominantly the higher production stuff I shoot is with the FX3, which I'm filming on right now with that 16mm 1.8. It's like my favorite setup right now. But the Osmo Pocket 3, I've been adding it back in to some of my vlog stuff, especially when I'm out and about. It's just so easy to use. The image out of it looks great. The audio is pretty great as well. And it's just so small, especially without the battery grip and stuff. Like, this is it. Like, it legit fits in my pocket. It's easy to take, like, I don't know, out and about in stores or restaurants or coffee shops, that type of vlog content. So this is a great tool. Even though the price has gone up a little bit with the tariffs, I still honestly highly recommend it. I would say it's probably the best like starting vlog camera right now, or even for people that, is more of like a veteran at creating content. It's a great tool to have in your bag as well. And also something I wanted to add in here is, yesterday celebrating Dan, kind of moving on to the next chapter of his career was super exciting. And he's someone that we worked together for, multiple years at Ghost, had some of the absolute best times of our life and worked with, amazing athletes and people. And that was legit a dream job for, I know, myself. I've talked about that before, but I know he felt the same exact way. And that will always be a very special chapter, but I'm beyond proud of him. He's one of the hardest working creatives I know. Absurdly talented, and selfishly, I'm now excited to maybe be able to use him and utilize him a little bit in some of my creative stuff. But I do want to say shout out to Hims and big congrats, dude, because he is truly, chasing his dreams and going after it. And I feel like that's what this entire thing is all about. So again, I'm gonna link his Instagram down below. If you guys want to show him any love or dropping him a follow, I know that would mean a lot to him, but I'm excited to see what he does in the future. And I'm sure you guys will see him within my content and stuff soon too. Once he gets back from tour, at least, I think he'll have a little bit more flexibility and free time now. But now that I'm kind of caught up on what I need to get done today in the lab, we are going to go pick up the shattered backboards. And you know what? I figured I'll bring you guys along with me. So we're gonna head out, go hit that up. I think I might try to film a vertical video for socials as well, just because, I don't know, that's just what I do, I guess. But yeah, we're about to head out to there now. Let's go. Alright guys, so just made it back home. I couldn't really record the audio. We were outside. Oddly enough, there was like a bunch of protests going on downtown Chicago today, so it was chaotic. It actually took us like 2 hours to get to the Nike store and back. It was a bit of a journey, but look at this thing. Look at this box. So this is the Shattered Backboards, originally released in 2015. I actually have the OGs right here, and they are absolutely beat. I wear those things all the time. It's one of my favorite shoes of all time. There's a lot of mixed feelings about these being re-released and honestly kind of mass produced now. But wow, a fresh pair looks so good. But it is easily one of my favorite shoes of all time. A lot of people's grails, and so, I'm happy that they got re-released. We'll see a lot more of them out in the wild now, which I guess that part kind of sucks, but yeah, I just love these. But the box is a nice little detail, that's for sure. All right guys, so I want to talk about the title of this video and also kind of what I was referring to at the start of this video, because truthfully, there's just a lot going on these days, and a lot of that is different than how my life was, in the past or years ago. And it's really all great things. There's just a lot of growth, and what comes with growth is change, right? And with change, right, there always comes a bit of doubt. And I think that's something that every single creator can relate to, or honestly, I think really anyone in general. But when I very first started this YouTube channel, I honestly just was picking up the camera, talking about things I was passionate about, right? And that over time became more and more geared around tech and camera gear. That was stuff I was super passionate about, and I obviously still am to this day, right? Like in this video, I'm talking about the new Sony camera, right? So that is still a huge piece of what I do. But obviously, you know, I no longer am also working a 9 to 5. I am now a full-time content creator. And on top of that, I'm also building this business. You know, you guys are familiar with lab culture, I'm sure by now, but I'm building this business that after this last couple of drops, this thing feels like a real business, and we're starting to make the amount of money and moving enough product. This feels like a real thing to me. So now, you know, that week to week, my responsibilities are a little bit different these days. A lot of it revolves around, you know, building this brand, creating content, organic content for myself, whether it be YouTube videos or organic vertical content, or I've really been enjoying posting, you know, more photo dumps and just taking photos and using them across my socials organically as well. And YouTube for me, I've always talked about is kind of the main backbone of my community. And so whenever it comes to brand deals, I've been very, very specific, and honestly haven't taken on many because I'm so, I guess, just dead set on things having to be perfectly aligned with me. Because the way that I've been wanting to use YouTube more and more over the last couple of years, and it really has started to gravitate towards that, but I kind of just want to finally talk about it, is I want to use YouTube more to just document my life and then everything that goes on inside of that. So I've always kind of considered myself being a tech and lifestyle content creator, right? Where I obviously cover tech and camera gear and things like that, but I try to put my own spin on it. I would rather talk about how I actually use my iPhone throughout the day or maybe throughout the week versus just sitting down and doing like a tech spec read at my desk with some good looking B-roll. And definitely when I first started out, I did some more of that stuff, and every now and then, you know, I might splice it in. But that's why I've kind of gravitated over the last year or 2 years, showing more things like, you know, using the new MacBook Air in a week in my life or a day in my life. Or for example, I did, you know, the Osmo Pocket 3. I showed how I used it throughout the entire week. But not every single week, you know, is going to be a video completely around a piece of tech. I guarantee everything I make is going to show pieces of tech in it. And there might be specific projects where, hell yeah, I get this new sick camera, or whenever the new FX3 comes out, you best believe I'm making a lot of dedicated content around that. But that's kind of where the lifestyle piece of it comes in. I've always tried to add in the other type of content and things that I'm passionate about, right? Like you guys know, I'm huge into sneakers. I mean, just look at this vlog, how many times we talked about different pairs of sneakers. I'm obviously into like fashion, streetwear, coffee, energy drinks, you know, fitness. I'm super into running now. So I try to kind of always include other aspects of what I do. And that's kind of the lifestyle piece of me. But obviously over this last year, with everything going on with lab culture and the more and more that's growing, there is kind of now a third category, which is kind of like the entrepreneur side, right? I'm documenting myself, you know, packing these orders, selling things, up at 2 a.m. talking to manufacturers, you know, walking you guys through the pieces that are going to be in an upcoming drop, or even the last vlog, right? I was showing you guys a bunch of samples for upcoming stuff. And that's really exciting for me. And that's really, I guess, the main point about all this, right? Is it's been a intentional small pivot within my content. Some of this has been in the works now for the last couple of years, but especially now that, you know, lab culture is becoming more and more of my daily duties and tasks, I just want to be transparent about that. So that's kind of my main goal with my YouTube channel these days. I just want to truly document my life. In some weeks that might be going heavy with vertical brand deals. In some weeks that might be going crazy with lab culture stuff to, you know, prep for a drop or show you guys what's going to be in a new collection, or, you know, like we're going to an event or a trip. So with all that being said, the content that you guys have been watching over the last year, that's what I'm going to kind of continue to keep doing here. But I figured I just kind of owed you guys an update with what was going on, because if you know me, YouTube has always been my favorite platform. It's where I consume the most content. It's what I put the most thought into when it comes to creating. And I don't think that's gonna change, just transparently. I'm more just wanting to just document my life and everything that goes into that. And that is, you know, everything that I talked about. So don't worry, it's not like I'm not talking about tech and things like that. Obviously right now we're moving into September and I have plans for doing, you know, new Apple products. And like I said, I'm going to Sony Condo here in a few weeks. So tech and camera stuff is not going anywhere. I just want to layer in more and more of the other pieces of my life as well. Because yeah, truly YouTube is just documenting it all and everything that kind of goes on within that. So yeah, If you guys are watching this far into the video, I really appreciate you. You know, like I put so much time and effort into these videos, overthink like everyone else, right? And so whenever you make a mental note that, okay, I'm going to kind of go down this new route, of course, there's always going to be self-doubt, or is this the right decision? Or every choice you make is good in some way, but it also can hurt you in another way. But at this point, I'm totally cool with that because that is my plan with YouTube. Everything is honestly absolutely crushing right now in all other aspects. And YouTube to me is really just the vehicle to kind of document everything going on. So yeah, that might have been a long-winded little chat here at the end, but honestly it's just been on my mind a lot, and so I wanted to share it with you guys. So that is pretty much it for this video. Thank you guys so much for the support on the last Lab Culture drop. Thank you for all the support on the recent YouTube content. Things really right now are just, everything is trending up, and it's just such a cool feeling. Every single day I get to wake up and pretty much decide what I want to do that day and what I want to make content about in pretty much any niche. And I figured out a way to do that and live the life that I want to live. And I think this next 6 months to a year is going to be really fun. I wish I could tell you guys everything that kind of is in the works right now or what we have planned, but it's gonna be really fun. And that's why I think documenting this right now is gonna be great to look back on, and also why I kind of want you guys to know what is coming in the future as well. So with all that being said, I appreciate the hell out of you guys. I'm very grateful to be able to live this life every single day. I, without a doubt, do not take it for granted whatsoever. And anyone that knows me personally, I say that often. And I truly wouldn't be able to live this life if it wasn't for you guys and the support. So full steam ahead with content, brand deals, lab culture, everything going on. And I hope you guys can find some sort of inspiration or motivation from me in what I'm doing. And even with my journey over the last, however long it's been, 6 years documenting this channel, or documenting my life on this channel. I truly feel like right now we're just getting started. I feel like I finally got kind of like my legs under myself with being full time. And I know that might sound crazy with what's happened last year, but I truly just now kind of can really see this vision, and I'm just so damn fired up. So I'm gonna stop yapping. I appreciate you guys. If you've watched this far into the video, comment down below Mocha. Comment down below Mocha, because she's laying right here. She's been squeaking her ball. I had to cut the video like 7 times because she was squeaking her ball so loud. But comment down below Mocha if you guys watched this far into the video. If you're new around here, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you guys liked today's video, drop it a thumbs up. And yeah, I'll see you guys in another video very, very soon. Appreciate you guys. Peace.